Hello everybody, very good evening and welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. I'm Abhishek Singh and I welcome you all in this session. I hope that everybody is able to hear my voice properly and watch the video. So guys, as I promised that in this lecture today we are going to discuss the 100 questions. In fact, this is going to be the first part, as originally I had planned to discuss 100 questions at once, but then I realized that it would be a little bit longer because if I would be going on with 100 questions successively, so it will be a little bit difficult to give the brief explanations also. So therefore, it is good enough that we should be continuing with the 50 questions today and the rest of the 50 questions tomorrow. All right. So let's get started. And as you might be aware that if you have watched the previous lectures, so you must have realized that the art and culture is not actually as difficult as it is posed to be. All right, everyone. So how long it will take? It will be taking like 2.5 hours, right? A little bit more than 2 hours, not more than that. So first of all, I would like just tell you one thing that guys, in this particular lecture, the questions will be from diverse backgrounds. The questions will be mostly on the level of those which are asked in the UPSC. Yes, definitely some of the questions might be simple, but that is only to increase your confidence, only to encourage you, nothing else. So let us start, but before proceeding further, let me just tell you one thing, that in case if you are preparing for the civil services examination, then guys, remember that these upcoming evening batches which are going to start from 30th of September, you can enroll in these batches and you can avail all the benefits like the syllabus coverage, the current affairs program, as well as the prelims and mains specific programs called as the success in prelims and success in mains. Not only that, you have also got the opportunity to come to the StudyIQ campus, reside here and prepare for the mains examination free of cost in case if you have cracked the prelims examination under this batch. So what all you have to do, you just have to use my code ASR live and you will be getting the maximum discount on the fees, which will be just rupees 29,999. All right, so let us proceed now. In this particular question, this is the first question that you are able to see, this one. Consider the following statements. Abhinay Darpan is one of the main sources of the textual material for the study of the technique and the grammar of the body movement in the Bharatanatyam dance. Okay, everyone? Kathakali dance is known to be Ekaharya. All right. So yes, definitely you all will be getting the PDF of this session. In fact, this all PDF of the previous week's entire lectures, they will be uploaded by today evening or maybe by tomorrow morning on my Telegram channel. The link of that you will be getting at the end of the class session. Now moving further, just have a look on this particular question. Abhinay Darpan. Guys, this is actually one of the basic textbooks which describes about the contemporary or in fact the beginning of the performing arts. This book was written by Nandikeshwar. This book was written by Nandikeshwar. Remember the names, whatever facts that I am telling to you, those facts are really crucial, okay? Written by Nandikeshwar. And yes, it talks about the basic intricacies of the body movements. Of course, it talks about that. Kathakali is known to be Ekaharya. What is the meaning of the Ekaharya? Ekaharya is basically when you are performing in a solitude. So guys, that is why when we talk about Ekaharya, basically Ekaharya is Bharatanatyam. It is Bharatanatyam, not Kathakali. Kathakali is performed in front of the audience in an open amphitheater, whereas Bharatanatyam is performed in the solitude only in front of the god, in front of the statue of the god. So the right answer is option number A, Only one. Okay, everyone? Guys, I just have one request to all of you, that kindly do share this session. I want more and more number of people, more and more of serious students to be with me for solving these questions, and we will together actually achieve the level of expertise, the level of understanding which is required to crack the examination. Now, coming to the next question, but before that, here is the link to my Telegram channel and the QR code. You can scan it and you can join the Telegram channel for the content. Now, moving further, the next question: consider the following statements with reference to the Indian classical dance forms. You have to consider the statements regarding the Indian classical dance forms. Okay, everyone? Tandav and Lasya are the two basic aspects of Indian classical dance. Yes, everyone. Those who have attended the classes, you must be aware about the two aspects, Tandav and Lasya. Nritya is a dramatic element of the dance, that is the imitation of the characters. So now let me just tell you one thing. When we talk about Tandav, okay, Tandav and Lasya, I hope that you remember this point, that Tandav is the masculine, okay, masculine aspect with the vigorous, okay, with the vigorous and fast movements, whereas Lasya is more on the feminine aspect, okay, feminine aspect, and this is basically consisting of soft expressions, okay, soft expressions, along with the love and affection and kindness. So these things are actually showcased through the dance performance. All right, everyone. Good evening to all of those who are joining right now. So this Tandav and Lasya are basically the two aspects of the classical dance. Absolutely correct. This is the first statement which is correct. Nritya is the dramatic element. So my dear, if you remember that Nritya and Natya. So this is basically the pure dance, okay, pure dance. This is the dramatics, and this is the balanced and complete dance. Okay, balanced and complete dance. Okay, everyone. So here, second statement cannot be correct. Second statement is wrong because the dramatic element is called as Natya. So right answer will be option number A, only one. Okay, only one. Now moving to the next question, Lai Harauba is an earliest form of which of the following classical dance forms? Guys, you might have heard that in I think yesterday or day before yesterday's lecture, I had taken a class on the folk dances. Do you remember that? On those folk dances, when we were talking about, we had discussed about Lai Harauba. Okay, Lai Harauba. We had discussed about Thangta, okay, or Thangta. Then we had also talked about Sarit Sarak. Sarit Sarak. So how many of you, yes, tell me in the comment box, everyone, how many of you can tell me the right answer in this particular question? Try to give the answers in the comment section also. Let me just check that how many of you are well prepared for the test which is going on. All right. So it is not very likely that people are not replying to the questions in the comment box. That's very unlikely. In fact, I have seen that most of the people, they keep on giving replies even if they are not sure about it. But yes, art and culture is not the one-day examinations history, because I have seen that most of the people, they just know those repeated facts. But when it comes to art and culture, the people are usually not that much confident. So show me your confidence, show me your participation, and then it will be much more fun to continue the session. Now, let us have a look on the answer. As I have given you the enough hints, so the right answer will be option number A, Manipuri. Right answer. Okay, Manipuri is the right answer to this question. Now, moving to the next question, with reference to the Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements. Okay, rock cut architecture, you have to consider Gopika caves from Gujarat, Uparkot caves from Bihar, Kanheri caves from Maharashtra. Select the correctly matched. Now, this same question, the UPSC can ask the same question by giving you this particular choice and changing it, that how many of them are correctly matched. Okay, how many correct matched pairs, okay, correctly matched pairs are there. So don't think that the questions are not as per the latest trend. They are of course as per the latest trend. So you can see like only one pair, okay, only two pair, only three, right, or none. So either of this could be the form of the question. Now in this particular question, let me tell you, Gopika caves are basically the part of Barabar caves in Bihar. Okay, Barabar caves. If you remember, Gopika caves, right? So Gopika, Vapi, okay, Vaditi, these three are from the Nagarjuni, and the four cave groups, basically the proper Barabar group, they are Sudama, Karna Chopper, Lomas Rishi, and Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, also known as Vishwa Jhopadi. Vishwa Jhopadi. Okay, so I hope that everybody got a clear idea. Now let me just answer this particular question for you. As you might be aware that the Kanheri caves are in the Maharashtra Sanjay Gandhi, right, Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Okay, National Park in Mumbai or near Mumbai. So there you have Kanheri caves in Maharashtra. So only third is correctly matched. Right answer is option number C is the right answer. Next question, consider the following statements with reference to the Kathak dance forms. Kathak dance forms, you have to consider this question and give the answer. Under the patronage of Wajid Ali Shah, the last Nawab of Awadh, it grew into a major art form. Okay, Kathak is the only form of classical dance wedded to Hindustani or the North Indian music. Okay, then it is a blend of dance, music and acting, and dramatizes the stories which are mostly adapted from the Indian epics. Now in this particular question, there is a statement which is a little bit problematic statement. The second statement is, guys, that is claiming that Kathak is the only classical dance wedded to or connected to Hindustani music. But if you remember my class, I had told you that even the Odissi dance is connected with the Hindustani music. Got it? However, there are definitely the regional impacts and influences on that particular version of music, but that does not take away the fact that definitely Hindustani music is also reflected in the Odissi dance. So therefore, the second statement should not be absolutely correct. Should not be absolutely correct. Okay, everyone? So you have to find the correct statements. First one is a correct statement and the third one is also correct statement. Remember that right answer is option number C here. Okay, option number C here. In fact, this is the showing option number D, but let me tell you that it is going to be option number C. Okay. Kathak is the only dance form which is wedded to Hindustani music. Very often you can consider this as option number D, but Kathak is not the only dance. Odissi is also related to the heavily influenced version of Hindustani with the local musical styles of Odisha. All right, everyone. Now, consider the following statements with reference to Satriya dance form. Satriya dance form. So, Satriya dance form was introduced in 15th century AD in the state of Assam. Okay, everyone? In the state of Assam. Then, Vaishnav saint and reformer of Assam, Shankar Deva, as a medium of propagation of the Vaishnav saint. Okay. Shankar Deva used it, right? Used it as a medium for propagation of the Vaishnav faith. Now you have to tell that which of these statements are correct statements. Okay, everyone? So here let me tell you one thing. Satriya dance. It is a popular dance, right? Satriya. Basically, it emerges from the term called as a Satra. Satra is basically the monastery of, okay, the monastery of the Vaishnavite saints. All right, everyone, Vaishnavite saints. And basically, it was promoted by Shankar Dev. Okay, everyone. After that, let me tell you, after that, what happens? Satriya, it actually attained the classical dance status just recently, I think in 2000, right, in the decade of 2000 only. But before that also it was very popular. In fact, one of its aspects called as Ankiya Nat. Ankiya Nat. That is also related to the Satriya dance only. And therefore, it has to be considered as one of the oldest continuous dancing traditions. All right, everyone. So here, what is the right answer? So, here the right answer is option number C. Both 1 and 2, they are correct. They are correct. Okay, everyone. Introduced during 15th century by Shankar Deva in Assam. Moving to the next question. Match the following folk music forms with their origin states. Folk music forms you have to match. Panihari, then Vanava, then Povada, then Pai song. Okay, Pai song. So Panihari, Vanavan and Povada and Pai song, and I'm just sorry for the pronunciation because these are the regional words and they might be having the different pronunciations, so please don't mind it. Then states Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Kashmir and Madhya Pradesh. Okay, states or region. States or region. So now tell me the right answer to this particular question, everyone. Panihari is from which particular state? Panihari is actually from Rajasthan. Okay, so folk music form. Remember that Panihari are the women who used to go to the long distances for bringing the water. Obviously related to Rajasthan. Then talking about Vanavan. Vanavan is connected with Kashmir. It is connected with Kashmir. Basically, Vanavan is actually a wedding song. It is actually a wedding song. Okay, everyone. Then Povada. What is Povada? Povada is a popular glorifying song in Maharashtra. Glorifying music and singing in Maharashtra. For example, suppose there are the stories sung in the form of music by the common people. I think most of you must have heard about the Afzal Khan's death at the hands of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Okay, so when Afzal Khan was killed by the Bagnak, by Shivaji, so killed with a Bagnak, so what happened? That became a legendary story, that became a folklore, and one Pawada which is called as Afzal Khanachi, right? Afzal Khanachi, Afzal Khanachi Pawada. So Afzal Khanachi Pawada or Afzal Khanachi Mrityu, that particular Pawada is very famous, which is often sung by the people in rural areas of Marathwada to remember that bravery of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Similarly, Pai song. Guys, what is the Pai song? Pai song is actually a folk song or a folk music basically in the Nimad region of Madhya Pradesh. In the Nimad region of Madhya Pradesh. Alright, everybody. So basically, this is a song of the rainy season, and therefore, whenever there are rains in the months of Sawan and Bhadon, as per the Vikrami era calendar, so the locals in the Nimad areas basically in the southern region of Malwa on the borders of Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, in that area, basically in the Tapti basin, there are the songs called as Pai, and the dance is also performed. That dance is called as Saira. The Pai song is associated with the dance called Saira. Okay, Saira. So remember these points. Now moving to the right answer. So let me just tell you that Panihari is from Rajasthan, so second, and Vanavan from Kashmir, so third, and Pawada from Maharashtra first, and Pai from Madhya Pradesh fourth. So right answer is option number B, everybody. B is the right answer. B is the right answer. Okay, now. So next question, consider the following statements. Dhrupad is an old style of Hindustani singing traditionally performed by the male singers. Traditionally performed by male singers. Tappa music was adopted from the medieval Persian music. Now this is a very interesting, right? Very, very interesting question related to the Indian music. Dhrupad, of course, that is a very old style of classical Hindustani music and singing. The most famous Dhrupad singers, you might have heard the name of Swami Haridas or Tan Sen or Baiju Bawra, etc. Okay, they are some of the most well-known Dhrupad singers. So it is absolutely correct to say the first statement. The second statement, Tappa. Now, however, Tappa is, remember, Tappa is not having the Persian origin, but Tappa is actually adopted from the folk traditions of the camel herders, okay, camel herders in the Punjab and Rajasthan regions. So what happened that these camel herders, they used to carry the different artifacts as well as the entire load of the regular items which were required by the Mughal rulers. So usually in the period of later Mughals, the Tappa, it became a very common performance also in the court of the emperors. Particularly, remember the name Muhammad Shah Rangila. Okay, Muhammad Shah Rangila, he was the one who had given the promotion to this particular folk music, and it attained the status of a classical music by this time. So the right answer is option number A. A is the right answer, only one. Only 1 is the correct one. Next question, consider the following statements with reference to Madhubani paintings. Madhubani paintings. Anybody from Bihar? Anyone from the Bihar in the comment box, say me hello. So, Madhubani paintings are a folk art of Bihar. The themes for these paintings are mainly the Hindu gods and goddesses and the scenes from the Hindu mythology. Now, this is a trap. This is a trap question. UPSC gives such type of questions which appear really simple, but they are not simple questions. When we read this statement, the themes for these paintings are mainly the Hindu gods and goddesses. Remember that point, that very often we come across such Madhubani paintings which show the images of gods, goddesses, etc. painted in the Madhubani style. But remember that mainly the theme is related to secular images. Secular images means, here let me tell you, basically related to the social life and day-to-day activities. Not only that, also related to certain birds, natural scenery, natural sceneries, animals, etc. So very often people may claim, people may say that yes, it is related to religion. In fact, some of you might be thinking to argue also. But let me tell you that the social and social and real life themes are the most important part of the Madhubani painting. Then there are the parts of religious representation. That is the fact. So right answer here, it will be correct statement. It is asking correct statement. So here it will be option number A, 1 only. Option number A, 1 only. Okay? Clear everyone? Now moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about the wall paintings. Yes, the favorite topic of every one of you. Wall paintings. The paintings done on the wall, they are also referred to as the mural paintings. Ravan Chhaya paintings are an example of the mural paintings. Now guys, these two statements, once again let me tell you that I have handpicked those questions which are exactly on the lines of UPSC's pattern. Now this particular question is again highly confusing for those people who have studied the culture. Those who have not studied, they cannot solve this question, because they can solve this first statement very easily, very easily, that the wall paintings are called as the mural paintings. Absolutely easy. But what about the second statement? And until and unless you are aware about both of these statements, you are not able to solve if you are not aware. So Ravan Chhaya paintings are example of the mural paintings. Absolutely correct. But let me tell you a very important thing. Ravan Chhaya, okay everyone, Ravan Chhaya is actually a puppetry, okay. So puppetry again from Odisha only, from Odisha, a form of shadow puppetry, However, let me also tell you that Ravan Chhaya is also a mural art in the Kyonjhar, in the Kyonjhar district of Odisha. All right, everybody. So therefore, you must be aware about both of these facts, both of these informations. And when you are aware, then you can see the statement number 2, Ravan Chhaya paintings, not Ravan Chhaya, the folk art, or not the Ravan Chhaya, the mannequin art. Okay. So not asking about the puppetry, but asking about the paintings. So therefore, second statement and the first statement, both of them are correct. Right answer is option number C. Option number C is the correct answer. Okay, everyone. Next question, consider the given statements. You have to consider the given statements. All right. The hymns of the Nayanars are mentioned in the Tiruvasagam written by Manikavasagar. Okay. Tirumurai is the greatest collection of the works of the Nayanars, which is called as the fifth Veda for them. Now, for answering this question, you need to be well versed about the Bhakti saints called as Nayanars and Alvars. So, let me tell you a few facts about them. First of all, when we talk about Nayanars, okay, Nayanars are the Shaivite saints. They are the Shaivite saints, and they were total 63 in numbers. Okay, everyone? Out of which 3 were females. But let me also tell you that when we talk about the hymns related to the Nayanars, then guys, remember, those hymns are basically mentioned, or in fact they are collected in the great book called as Tirumurai. This Tirumurai is actually the compilation of three greatest Nayanar saints. What are the names of those 3 saints, guys? Remember the names. The names are Appar, right? Appar, Sambandar, okay, Sambandar, and Sundarar. Okay. So Appar, Sambandar, and Sundarar. You can simply call Appa, Sambanda, and Sundar. These 3 saints were the triumvirate of the Nayanar sect, and therefore their compilations, their literary compilations are called Tirumurai, which is regarded as the 5th Veda, very, very respected work. In the same collection of the Tirumurai, the 8th volume is actually called as Tiruvasagam. It is called Tiruvasagam, which is compiled by the Manikavasagar. So guys, remember that these are certain essential informations that you must have about the Nayanar saints. Okay, everyone? Nayanar saints, since they are very important, and remember that this year there is a lot of dispute going on in Tamil Nadu region. For once, there was the release of that movie called as the Ponniyin Selvan, when there was the statement given by the actor, some sort of a movie actor or a film director was there, who told that Shaivites are not Hindus, something like that. Similarly, at present, you might have heard about probably the son of Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu. So he is saying that we need to eradicate Sanatana Dharma. So Supreme Court has also taken the notice of this. So eventually we must be very much clear about the related terminologies, which are in the news. Okay, everybody, what is the right answer? So the first statement is correct and the second statement is also correct. So right answer is option number C. Now, moving to the next question. Which of the Sufi saints in the given pairs are incorrectly matched to their places? Which of the Sufi saints are incorrectly matched? Now Bhakti, and now moving to the Sufi. Ganj-e-Shakar, Lahore in Punjab, Sheikh Hamiduddin, Hansi in Haryana, Sheikh Akhi Usman Siraj, that is Buxar in Bihar. Now let me tell you the name of or the places and the names of these great Sufi saints. Guys, when we talk about the Sufi saints in India or the Sufism in India, remember that in India we have some major Sufi sect. Okay, the Sufi sect, they are called as a silsila. What is the meaning of silsila? Right, silsila means the chain of the disciple and the teacher, right? Teacher, disciple, like that. So primarily there are some important sect like Chishti, like Sohrawardi, okay, Sohrawardi, or Naqshbandi, okay, Naqshbandi, then Qadiri, okay, Qadiri. There are various other groups as well like Husainiya and Faridiya. There are so many other branches, but these four are probably the most important branches or the silsilas. Ganje Shakar, the complete name is Baba Fariduddin Ganje Shakar. He belonged to, or he was actually situated in a place in nearby the city of Lahore in Punjab. Okay, everyone. Then we have Sheikh Hamiduddin Nagauri, who belonged to the place called Nagaur in Rajasthan. And then we have Sheikh Akhi Usman Siraz, or simply Sheikh Akhi, or also popular as the Ain-e-Hind. He was also a Chishti Sufi saint, as well as Nagauri was also Chishti Sufi saint. In fact, these three, all of them, are the Chishti Sufi saints who were connected to respectively in the Punjab, then Rajasthan, and then Bengal. Right? Akhi Usman was connected in Bengal. So we can say that the first statement that is correctly matched. All right, everybody. And the question is asking incorrect. So the first is correctly matched. We have the second and third, option number C, as the right answer. Okay, as the right answer. So I hope that it's absolutely correct to understand that question is asking incorrectly matched pairs. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? Then please tell me in the comment box. Now, moving further, consider the following. You have to consider the given statements. It focuses on the faith and the devotion in the God with fulfillment of the one's duties. Got it? Now, it focuses on the goal of salvation through the bhakti. Okay? So, which of the following is true about the Nirguna Bhakti? Nirguna Bhakti, Saguna Bhakti, if you are aware about these terms, then you must be knowing that when we talk about Sagun and Nirgun, it is basically related to the devotion. Okay, devotion with some known attributes. Some known attributes. What is the meaning of these known attributes, everybody? Like the name, appearance, okay, then features, then achievements, character. All these things are basically very well known to the followers of the God. For example, suppose if I am following God Krishna, so I am aware that Krishna is the one who wields the Bansuri or Sudarshan Chakra. Krishna is the one who actually delivered the message of Gita, who actually fought the battles against Banasur. So there are so many attributes and so many characteristics which could be attributed to Lord Krishna in this case. So we can say that when we do the Saguna Bhakti, we actually have the clear idea that whom are we worshipping. But when we do Nirguna Bhakti, it is basically the devotion without any known attributes, That means you are clearly accepting that you are unable to understand, unable to see, unable to perceive how does the God look like, how does the God see myself, or how exactly is the appearance, or what are the features exactly which belong to the God. You are not aware about anything, but still you regard him, you consider him or her, even you don't know the gender. So you regard that God is the creator of the entire universe and the supreme power, supreme soul in this universe, all these things. So basically you are devoting yourself, you are doing the bhakti for the goal of salvation, But it simply says that since you are not sure that how would the God look like, so don't waste the time in discussing and debating about the appearances or describing the visuals of the God. Rather, focus on the faith and the devotion in the God. Okay, everybody? So the right answer is option number C. Both of these statements are absolutely correct statements. Absolutely correct statements. Now, with reference to the religious history of the medieval India, the Sufi mystics were known to pursue which of the following practices? Now guys, this is actually the question asked in the UPSC Civil Services preliminary examination. Okay, you have to give the right answer to this question. With reference to the Sufi mystics, what are the practices which they used to follow? Meditation and control of the breath, severe ascetic exercises in a lonely place, recitation of the holy songs to arouse a state of the ecstasy in their audience. Now guys, when we talk about the Sufi saints, meditation and control of the breath to give the torture to themselves, severe ascetic exercises in a lonely place to make them fully concentrated, fully devoted to the God. Now these exercises are basically the part of fana. What is fana? When you are completely devoting yourself, rather you are trying to annihilate yourself in the devotion of the God, that's called as fana. Then you are doing recitation of the holy songs. The holy songs are called as Qawwali. Okay, you all might have heard that holy song from that movie Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Have you heard that? Bhar de jholi, hai na, Bhar de jholi. So that particular song, you are basically insisting the Almighty to fulfill your wishes, fulfill your desires, whatever you have. Okay, so that's basically holy songs recitation. The occasion of that recitation, that is called as sama. Sama is basically the occasion of that recitation of the Qawwalis. Okay, everybody? So what is the right answer here? Right answer is option number D. 1, 2 and 3, all of them are correct statements, everyone. So guys, if you are able to solve these questions, if you are able to understand what exactly is being told to you, then do not hesitate to share this session with your friends also. Let us solve these questions together, right? And then it will be much more great thing to do. Now consider the following Bhakti saints: Dadu Dayal, Guru Nanak, Tyagaraja. Now guys, these three Bhakti saints are there: Dadu Dayal, Guru Nanak Dev and Tyagaraj. Who among the above was or were preaching when Lodi dynasty fell and Babur took over? Now this question, once again, this was also asked by UPSC in their prelims examination. Now let me just tell you it very briefly. When we talk about Dadu Dayal, guys, Dadu Dayal is actually a Bhakti saint, belonged originally to Gujarat, but his area of work, his area of life, that was Rajasthan. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he was born in Punjab, in place called Talwandi or Nankana Sahib at present. Then Tyagaraja is basically born in the area of modern day Tamil Nadu. Okay. However, when we try to understand their chronological sequence, then my dear, Dadu Dayal was contemporary of Akbar. Contemporary of Akbar. I think his period of life that was nearby 1544 to 1603, as I think almost very much similar to that of Akbar. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he lived from approximately 1469 to 1539 or maybe 1540. Approximately that particular. Okay. So sometimes it is not very convenient to remember the exact years, but this is my humble suggestion to all of you, that always remember the contemporaries, or always remember this plus minus 5 or approximate years of their life, their span of life. It's very, 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 very important. Then guys, Tyagaraja, he was probably an 18th century saint. 18th century saint. Okay. Most probably he survived even in the 19th century also. So we can say that Tyagaraja is nowhere contemporary of Babur. In fact, I am very sure that he was living somewhere around 1770s and 80s up to 1840s. So the decade of 1760s, 70s, from starting from there and going up to the decade of 1840s. So that is the lifespan, roughly the lifespan of Tyagaraja, which is nowhere common or shared with the lifespan of Babur. So only second option, Guru Nanak, is sharing his life with the events like arrival of Babur on the throne of Agra and Delhi. So right answer is option number B, only 2. Only 2. Okay, everyone. Now, with reference to the cultural history of India, see, this is question asked again in the UPSC examination. Consider the following statements. Most of the Tyagaraja Kritis are devotional songs in the praise of Lord Krishna. All right. Tyagaraja created several new ragas. Annamacharya and Tyagaraja are contemporaries. Then Annamacharya Kirtans are devotional songs in the praise of Lord Venkateshwar. Now guys, let me be very, very clear about it. When we talk about Tyagaraja, I just told you in the very previous question itself, Tyagaraja was an 18th century figure. He was an 18th century figure. Whereas Annamacharya, he lived during the 14th, 15th century. Okay. During that period of 14th, 15th century. So there is no question at all that both of them should be contemporary. But now coming to the next part of this question, who was Annamacharya? Actually guys, when we talk about the Carnatic music, this is basically the question related to the music, right? Music heritage of India. Music heritage of India. In that we already understand that there are two basic styles in Indian classical music: Hindustani classical music and Carnatic classical music. So when we talk about Carnatic classical music, the contemporary Carnatic music is highly indebted to Annamacharya and Tyagaraja. Okay, Annamacharya and Tyagaraja. Okay, everyone. So that's why this question is being asked by UPSC. And Annamacharya's Kirtans are devotional songs in the praise of Lord Venkateshwar. Absolutely correct. This is absolutely correct. But Tyagaraja did not worship Lord Krishna. He worshipped Lord Ram. Lord Ram. Okay. So Rama was worshipped by Tyagaraja and Krishna was worshipped by Annamacharya. Krishna, obviously the Venkateshwar, Lord Venkateshwar. Okay, so this cannot be correct and this cannot be correct. So second and fourth are correct ones, and the B is the right answer. B, that is the right answer to this question, everyone. Okay, next question. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements. Question number 17. Saint Gyaneshwar was the pioneer of Maharashtra Dharma. The Vithoba cult disregarded the caste and the gender differences. Janabai and Bahinabai were the famous Dharkari saints. Right. Now let me tell you one thing. When we talk about Maharashtra Dharma, what is that Maharashtra Dharma? Guys, if you remember, Bhakti movement, basically it spreaded in the southern India. Okay, everyone, southern India. It is spreaded in the Deccan, okay, in the Deccan, and it spreaded in the rest of the country, okay, rest of India. So in southern India, it became divided into Nayanars and Alvars, okay, Nayanars and Alvars. In Deccan, it was called as Maharashtra Dharma. Maharashtra Dharma. Okay, and it was divided into the Varkari, okay, Varkari and Dharkari, and similarly in the rest of the India we had the Sagun Bhakti and Nirgun Bhakti. Okay, everyone. In Sagun Bhakti also we had the Rama Bhakti cult and Krishna Bhakti cult. Okay, Rama and Krishna Bhakti cult. So I hope that you got the clear idea. You got the clear idea about the different subsections within the Bhakti movement during the medieval periods in India. However, Sant Gyaneshwar was the pioneer of Maharashtra Dharma. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Because Gyaneshwar, then after that Gyaneshwar, after that Namdev, or even Janabai, all these, okay, all these, they became the famous sect or famous saints of the Varkari sect. What is the Varkari sect, my dear? Varkari sect is actually the name given to the worshippers of Vithoba. Worshippers of Vithoba or Vitthal. Okay, Vithoba or Vitthal. Of Pandharpur. Vitthal of Pandharpur. So it is believed that he was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. It is believed that he was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So that is basically the belief that is followed very religiously by the followers of Vithoba. However, there are the other groups called as Dharkari. Dharkari are the worshippers of Ram. Okay, they are the worshippers of Ram. Okay, the most famous Dharkari sects, the sect saints, they include Samarth Guru Ramdas. Okay, everyone. However, the Varkaris are more popular, including the saints like Gyanadev, Namdev, even the saints like Eknath or Tukaram. All these are considered to be the parts of Dharkari. However, Varkaris. However, Tukaram is regarded as the intermediary or the junction of the Varkari and the Dharkari sect. So basically, these are the various bifurcations in the India's Bhakti movement cults. So Vithoba disregarded the caste and gender differences. Naturally, any Bhakti movement cult would be disregarding the caste and creed differences. So obviously correct. Then Janabai and Bahinabai were the famous Dharkari saint. Okay, I just told you that Janabai and Bahinabai both were not Dharkari, but they were the Varkari. Okay, Varkari saint. Okay, so not Dharkari but Varkari. Therefore, the question is asking that correct statements. You have to tell the correct statements. So right answer is option number A. 1 and 2 are the correct statements. Okay, everybody. Moving to the next question now. Consider the following pairs. You have to consider the pairs. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria, the founder of Sohrawardi Silsila in India. Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi, Wahadat al-Suhud. Mia Mir, Wahadat al-Wazud. Which of these are correctly matched? Only 1 and 2, then only 2 and 3, and only 1 and 3, and all of them are correctly matched. So guys, now you have to tell the right answer to this particular question. So Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria. How many of you exactly remember the name of Sheikh Sahabuddin Sohrawardi of Baghdad? Okay, so if you remember his name, he was the founder of the Sohrawardi sect of the Sufism in Baghdad. But in India, this was popularized by Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria. Okay. So Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria Sohrawardi is the founder of Sohrawardi Silsila in India. Absolutely correct. Then we have Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi, Wahadat al-Suhud. Wahadat al-Suhud and Mia Mir, Wahadat al-Wazud. What is the meaning of this term Wahadat al-Wazud and Suhud? Guys, just let me make it very simple for you. We must have studied in the Upanishadic philosophies or in the Bhakti philosophies about Advait, about the Advait and Dvait. Right, everyone? So when we talk about Advait or the non-dualism, okay, non-dualism, this is basically Wahadat al-Wazud. Wahadat al-Wazud. Okay. Here Wahadat al-Wazud means the oneness of the existence. Which means that if you are existing, you cannot exist as a single independent personality, but you are simply the one and the same with the Supreme Deity, the Supreme Almighty, the Creator, the Allah. Okay, so that is Wahadat al-Wazud. But when we say Wahadat al-Suhud, it simply distinguishes between the Creator and the creation. Okay, so it distinguishes, all right everyone, distinguishes between the Creator and creation. All right everyone. So this is called as Wahadat al-Suhud. Okay. So now when we talk about this particular question, right answer is option number D. All of them are correctly matched pairs. All of them are correctly matched pairs. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria was a Sufi saint of Sohrawardi Silsila who had been very popular. In fact, he had also been in the services of the Delhi Sultanate for a while. Then Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi, again, Sarhindi was a contemporary of Akbar and Jahangir. In fact, he was put into jail probably in the year 1619 by Jahangir, and he was actually locked on the pretext of acting like a revelation or the revelator or the messenger of the God. So he said that he is receiving the messages from the Almighty. So Jahangir simply asked that, why am I not receiving it? Because I am the supreme person on this particular earth, at least in my kingdom. So why are you receiving it? Okay. So that actually shows the narcissist approach of Jahangir, as well as also it shows the exaggerated approach of Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. Mia Mir, Wahadat al-Wazud, Mia Mir is actually also connected to Dara Shikoh, right? Dara Shikoh. He was a Sufi saint of Qadiri sect. Okay, everyone? Qadiri sect. Remember the point. With reference to the cultural history of medieval India, consider the following statements. Pashupatas and Kapalikas were the monotheistic and worshipped Lord Shiva in the lingam form. Okay. We are talking about the two sects called Pashupatas and Kapalikas. They were monotheistic and they worshipped Lord Shiva in the lingam form. Nath Panth, founded by Matsyendranath or Machendranath, questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. Okay. So now you have to tell that which of these two sects or these two statements in fact are correct statements. Everybody must have heard about Yogi Adityanath. Everybody, in fact, most of you might be the fan of Yogi Adityanath. But how many of you, being the UPSC aspirants, how many of you exactly tried to understand, tried to know that why is he called as the yogi? Which particular sect is he heading? What is the relevance or what is the history of that seat of mutt which is heading at the moment? If you might have that spirit of inquiry, then you could have got the answers of all these things, isn't it? Now guys, here Pashupatas and Kapalikas were monotheistic. Okay, fine. They worshipped only Lord Shiva, that is also fine. But they did not worship Lord Shiva in the lingam form. That is basically the feature of Veer Saivas. The feature of Veer Saiva. Okay. When we say Veer Shaiva, we call him also the Lingayatas. Okay, everyone? So Lingayatas are actually the monotheistic sect of Shaivism, and they worship Lord Shiva only in the lingam form, and they do not consider any caste, creed or any type of social discrimination among themselves or among others, as they regard everyone as the creation of Lord Shiva only. Okay. So first statement is not correct. Then Nath Panth, founded by Matsyendranath, absolutely correct. It rejected the theory of the rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy also. So Nath yogis, they don't regard, don't consider any type of caste hierarchy. Okay, do not consider any caste hierarchy. Second statement is absolutely correct. Right answer is option number B, everybody. Option number B. Now let me tell you one thing. When we say that Pashupatas and Kapalikas were monotheistic and they worshipped Lord Krishna in lingam form, or Lord Shiva in lingam form, guys, this statement itself means that they worshipped only in the lingam form, which is not correct. Okay, so that's why the first statement is absolutely wrong. 20th question, consider the following statements regarding the Nagar school of architecture. Nagar school of architecture, okay. What is the statement? The temples generally followed the Panchayatan style of temple making. Generally, there were water tanks or reservoirs present in the temple premises. The temples were generally built on the upraised platforms. Okay. Now this is your turn to revise the entire Nagar style of temple architecture. So till now we have covered the Bhakti and Sufi very comprehensively. We have also covered a few questions from the dance, few questions from the music, few questions from the folk songs. Okay. So now the turn of architecture. So reply this question to me. Temples generally followed the Panchayatan style of temple making. Yes, absolutely correct. I hope everybody remembers the Panchayatan style, which is basically in the two different manners, which are like that. Okay, which are like that. So basically, these are the Panchayatan styles of the temple deity arrangements. Usually in North India as well as in South India, the earlier temples, they definitely followed this particular style. And why so? The reason is being that there used to be at least 5 important deities who were to be placed in a temple premise. So therefore, it might be variable due to the chief deity or the main deity of the temple, but apart from the main deity, there also would be the additional deities on the 4 given sites. 4 given sites. Okay? Example of the Panchayatan temples, basically the temple of Bhitargaon, okay, or the Lalitpur temple belonging to the Gupta age. Similarly, the Lakshmana temple belonging to the contemporary of Guptas, Kalachuris, okay, or various other temples. They all were connected, or they were all actually having the features of the Panchayatan style. Okay, everyone. Now, when we talk about the presence of the water tanks or reservoirs in the Nagar style does not have the presence of the water tanks. If you remember, we had discussed that the Maru Gurjar style in the Nagara school, that was the exception where we had the presence of water tanks in the Gujarat and Rajasthan areas of India. In those areas, the temples, they used to have the water bodies because of the arid nature of the climate or arid nature of the region. Whereas in southern India, those areas definitely had the water bodies such as a pond or a tank in the temple premise. Always remember that architecture is directly related to the particular geographical feature in that specific area. Therefore, the South Indian temple architecture, they have the water body. Gujarat, Rajasthan temple architecture, they have the water body. But the architecture in Uttar Pradesh, in Bihar, or in Bengal, or in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, they do not have the water body. Got it? Now, the temples were generally built on the upraised platforms. Absolutely correct. So, these upraised platforms were called as Jagati. Okay, called as Jagati. All right, everyone. So, you might have seen that temple at near in Lalitpur, particularly Lalitpur temple, also called as the Dashavatar temple. Dashavatar temple. So you might have seen that particular temple, or you might have seen the Khajuraho temple. All of them, they are constructed on a very high platform. Okay. On the top of the Jagati, we still have the upraised platform called as Jangha. Okay. So Jagat and Jangha are basically the platforms which are present on which the temples are constructed. Okay, everybody. Moving to the answer. What is the answer to this question? So you have to tell the correct statements about the Nagar School of Art. So temple, yes, first one is correct. Second one is not correct. Third one is correct. Okay. So right answer is option number B, 1 and 3. These are correct ones. Consider the following. The Provida style of temple involved horizontal elaboration in the temple couples with the addition of the new structure. Okay. What is the meaning of Provida style? We will discuss. Amma shrine, a structure was used for the ceremonial union of the god and the goddess during the Navami festival. Kalyan Mandapa housed the shrine of the goddess for the rest of the year apart from the Navami festival. Now, guys, this is talking about the Provida style. What is the meaning of the Provida style? This is basically the temple architecture of the Vijayanagar. Okay. Temple architecture of the Vijayanagar. All right, everyone. And in this particular temple architecture, it was having an exceptional feature that there were exceptionally long horizontal structures such as the elongated circumambulatory path, such as the elongated path of the Gopuram to the Mandapam. So these type of specific features were added during the Vijayanagar Empire. However, Amma Shrine, that was actually a structure in which, remember, in which the shrine, in which the goddess for the rest of the year used to reside. So basically, second and the third, these two statements, they are interchanged. Okay, everyone? Amma Shrine is the specific temple meant for the goddess, and Kalyan Mandap is that space where the ceremonial marriage was conducted by the priests on the occasion of the Navami festival, when the god and the goddess used to get married. Okay, everyone? So, which of the statements are correct here? Only first statement is correct, and rest both statements are interchanged and they are not correct. Consider the following statements with respect to the Hematpanthi temples. Now, this is a very unique and very good question. Hematpanthi temple. Who is Hematpanth? Guys, Hematpanth is actually the Prime Minister of the Yadava dynasty. Yadavas or Seuna. They are also known as the Seuna dynasty. So the Yadavas of Devgiri built Hematpanthi temples architecture. These temples had lean pillars and the walls. The walls were embellished with the relief and the carvings. Guys, how many of the statements are incorrect? How many of the above statements are incorrect? Wrong. They are not asking the correct statement. So Yadavas of Devgiri built the Hematpanthi temple. Yes, exactly. We just discussed that. So this is the absolutely correct statement. Then, when we talk about this particular architecture, remember, it is famous for using no adhesives. Like no cement, no lime, etc. It simply works on the thick pillars and walls joined with the mechanical joints. Okay, joined with the mechanical joints. So it is basically the shapes of the stones are actually, they are given in such a manner, they are basically interlocked with each other, and therefore they do not fall, and they work upon the distribution of the shear stress, as well as the center of mass is also well settled. So that leads to the very stable and very strong structure without use of any type of adhesive. These huge monuments are standing since 1000+ years. All right, everyone. So now let me tell you that some of the examples. So for example, you might have heard about Khandoba. Okay, Khandoba temple. Then Ambrishwar, right? Ambrishwar temple. Gondeshwar temple. Okay, Gondeshwar is the another temple. So guys, I hope that if you are able to understand the exact meaning, so you must have got the clear idea that these temples are using the natural strength of the stone blocks to sustain against each other, using the joints, the mechanical positioning, as well as the formations, and they do not use any type of the any type of the external adhesives. So the right answer here is, the question is asking incorrect. So here is the right answer, option number B, 2 and 3. These are both wrong statements. Do not have the lean walls because they have the thick walls. And the walls are embellished with the relief and the carvings. Okay. So here let me tell you that basically these are not embellished with the reliefs and carvings. They are literally very smooth and without any carvings. Now, with reference to the temple philosophy in India, which of the following statements are incorrect? Are correct. The temples in India symbolizes a sacred geography, that is the sacred land of the donor king. So any temple which is constructed, that temple indicates that it is actually the sacred land granted by the donor king. Okay. Then the temples in India symbolize the systematic reconstruction of the universe and its principles. So in India, temple architecture is the indication or the replication of the construction process of the universe. If you look at the temple spire, if you look at the temple body, it simply mimics the entire reaction of universal creation by the God. Then the temples in India symbolizes the fusion of the earthly life and the spiritual life. Okay. Now here, if we talk about the temple, they definitely symbolize the sacred geography. It's absolutely correct. They symbolize the sacred geography, but not the sacred land of the donor king, rather the sacred land of the deity. Guys, how can you solve such type of questions? Where are these questions from? These are basically the knowledge and application based questions, my dear. If you might have read that line where Harihar first dedicates the entire land of his kingdom to the deity called Virupaksh, and he rules in his name, on his behalf. He also constructs a temple for him in his own area. So basically, this is the condition which you have to accept, that the temples symbolize the sacred geography, but the sacred land of not the donor king, but the deity. The deity is the owner of land. Okay. And the second statement and third statements are both correct. Therefore, the answer will be like, you have to choose the correct statement. So A is the right answer. Right. A is the right answer in this. All right, everyone. Now, consider the following statements with respect to the Pallava temple. Now, Pallava temples, we have to talk about that. Mandap style, Ratha style, Rajsimha style, and Devavarman symbolize the various stages of development during the various kings in the same order. Got it? Narasimhavarman first patronized the construction of the Panch Pandav Ratha temples at Mahabalipuram. Narasimhavarman second patronized the construction of Rajsimha temple. Which of the given statements are correct? So when we talk about the Mandap style, Rath style, Rajsimha style and Nandivarman style, the last one should be called as Nandivarman style. Okay, not Devavarma. Narasimhavarman first patronized the construction of the Panch Pandav Ratha, absolutely correct. Narasimhavarman second patronized the construction of the Rajsimha temple. Now that is also absolutely correct. So here, what is the right answer, everybody? Right answer is option number B, 2 and 3. The first one is not correct. Got it? Clear? Next question. Consider the following statements with respect to the regional variations of the Nagar style temple architecture. Shringa and Urushringa. Shringa and Urushringa. They were the features of the temples and constructed by Chandela rulers. Jain temples of the red sandstone were built by Chalukyas or Solankis in Rajasthan region. The Ganga rulers of Odisha built the Deula style of temples. Deula style of temples. So, you have to tell the incorrect statement. Incorrect statement. Shringa and Urushringa. Do you remember the temple architecture, everybody? If you remember, then you must be remembering this structure called as Amalak. And this is called as, right, this is basically Amalak. And here it is a Kalash. Here it is a Kalash. And here it is a Shring. Right, Shring. Here also you will have, right, you will have similar type of structures. Okay, if you might be able to see in the Khajuraho temple architecture, remember that these are called as Urushringas. I have already taken a class on this particular point also, so you can watch that particular class if you have not watched it yet. Urushringa. And when we talk about Jain temple made of the red sandstone, that is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Remember that Rajasthan is not very famous for the red sandstone. It's famous for the greyish sandstone, and it is famous for the marble. So the Jain temples in the Rajasthan and Gujarat area constructed by Chalukyas, either they are constructed in the greyish sandstone or they are constructed using the marble. So that is the wrong statement. That is the wrong statement. The Ganga rulers of Odisha, Deula style. If you remember the Deula, what is the meaning of Deula, everybody? Deula style or Rekha Deul or Pidha Deul, if you remember that particular style, I hope everybody remembers this type of temple architecture. Okay, everybody, this type of temple architecture. This is basically the temple architecture of Odisha. Anybody who remembers the Jagannath temple or remembers the Lingaraj temple in Bhubaneswar? Anyone? So that is basically the temple style of Odisha called as a Deula style. This curvilinear tower shape is called as Deula. Rekha Deula. Remember Pidha Deula, Rekha Deula, and there are other types also. Okay. So here Ganga rulers, absolutely correct. So first and third correct and second is wrong. Incorrect is answer option number B, everybody. Now moving to the next question here. Examine which of the following statements in the context of the early art and architecture is false. Context of the early art and architecture. False. That means incorrect. The Stupa monastery complex at Amaravati is close to a megalithic burial site called as Amritamangalam. Udayagiri and Khandgiri hills in Odisha bear the oldest group of the Jain rock cut caves. Ajanta is the only site where the murals have been used to decorate the interiors of the rock cut caves. The majority of the rock cut caves in the period between 300 to 750 AD were sponsored by the royalty. Okay. Now guys, remember, the question is asking in context of the early art and architecture, which is a false statement. As soon as you see that Ajanta is the only site where the murals have been used to decorate the interior of the rock-cut caves, that is a wrong statement. Why? Because even the Bagh caves, even the Ellora caves, even the Sittanavasal caves, all of them, in fact, all of them have the mural paintings where the decoration has been done on the inner walls to decorate these rock-cut caves in the various parts of the country. Alright everyone, so there is no chance of saying that Ajanta is the only site. Apart from that, every other statement is absolutely correct. Like majority of the rock-cut caves in that period of the 300 to 750 AD were sponsored by the royalty. For example, the Vakataka Prime Minister was responsible for constructing the majority of Ajanta caves, whose name was Hari Sen. Similarly, the caves were constructed by the Rashtrakutas at Ellora, isn't it? Chalukyas had constructed the caves at Vadami or Vatapi. So this is why we can say that last statement is absolutely correct. First statement is again absolutely correct. And second statement is also correct. So the right answer is option number C, which is not correct. That is the answer. Okay. Consider the following statements regarding the art and architecture in the ancient India. Buddhism gave a great impetus to the art in Gupta period. The temples in the Gupta period were made in the architecture style known as the Pancharatra. The two most important features concerning art and architecture in the post-Mauryan period were the construction of the stupa and development of the regional schools of sculpture. Now the question is asking, which of the statements given above are correct statements? So the temples in the Gupta period were made in the architectural style known as Pancharatra. Guys, in the previous, I think a few questions back, we just solved a similar type of statement where we saw that the temples were called Panchayatan, not Pancharatra. So that is Panchayatan. So what is the meaning of Pancharatra? Those who don't know about the Pancharatra, Pancharatras are basically the 5 deities worshipped in the Bhagavatism. Who are they? They are actually the family members and Lord Krishna himself. So it includes a total of 5 people: Samb, Aniruddha, then Pradyumna, and Balaram, and Krishna himself. Okay, these are the 5 deities or 5 worshipable deities who are considered to be the reverent figures among the followers of Bhagavat sect or Bhagavat cult or the Vasudeva Bhakti cult. Okay everyone? Exactly, this is a previous year question also. Now, then we have the 2 most important features concerning art and architecture in the post-modern period were the construction of the stupa, absolutely correct, and development of the regional schools of architecture, absolutely correct. Construction of stupa, for example, Sanchi and Bharhut, and sculpture like Gandhar and Mathura. Okay, Gandhar school and Mathura school. So you can see that these things or these questions are basically more related to your understanding of the general awareness instead of having the accurate or specific pinpointed information. That is not required here. You are able to guess it if you are intelligent, if you have studied good enough, if you have basic understanding of the subject. You can actually solve these questions quite easily. So guys, here the right answer would be, first statement is absolutely correct. Right, first statement is absolutely correct. Third is absolutely correct. B is the right answer. Now, where is the famous Vijaya Vithala temple? Okay, Vijaya Vithala temple having its 56 carved pillars emitting the musical notes located. Now guys, musical temple. Vicky, this session is not conducted daily. Actually, I have conducted 20 plus classes for the art and culture series for UPSC. On the completion of that particular series, this is actually the practice session going on. I will be covering up 100 questions from the art and culture. Today 50 questions will be covered and the next 50 questions will be covered, might be tomorrow or might be in the next session. Okay. So here, where is the famous Vijaya Vithala temple having its 56 carved pillars emitting musical notes? Guys, right answer is option number C, Hampi. Because Vijaya Vithala temple is basically the Vijayanagar's, right? Vijayanagar's Vithala temple. Okay. So they are basically, they are the creations which are having certain pillar like musical notes. So they look like pillars, but they are actually giving the different sounds. When you tap the each and every pillar, there is a different sound. Okay. Now here, overall we have 3 Ratha temples in India. 3 Ratha temples in India. Which are those 3 temples? Number 1, Hampi. Number 2, Mahabalipuram. And number 3, Konark. Okay, so these 3 are very crucial locations. Now, consider the following. The Chalukyas of Badami were the earliest to build temples in the Deccan. The Chennakeshav temple in the Karnataka region is an example of the Vesar style. Now guys, these both statements, they are absolutely correct statements, because in the Badami, Chalukyas had constructed a temple as early as in the 6th century itself, or towards the end of the 5th century itself, in fact. So the temples like the Lad Khan temple, or a whole temple, or the temples like Lokeshwar and Trilokeshwar, then Papanath, right? Papanath and Bhutanath temple. All right, everyone. So these all temples are actually, along with the rock cut temples at Badami. These are actually the example of some of the earliest temples constructed in the Deccan area by the Badami based Chalukya Empire. Okay, everyone, remember that they were the earliest to have initiated what we call as the Vesar style of temple architecture. Chennakeshav temple is actually constructed by Hoysala dynasty, who were a great exponent of the Vesar architecture. Hoysala dynasty of the Halebeedu in Karnataka. Okay, so that is basically correct statement. So first is also, second is also correct. So both of the statements, my dear, they are correct. And the right answer is option number C. Option number C, that is the right answer. With reference to the stupa architecture, consider the following statements. In stupa architecture, Buddhist philosophy, stupa denote the Mahaparinirvan. So in Buddhist philosophy, stupa means Mahaparinirvan, or the great departure of the soul, or the great departure of Lord Buddha. Now here, when we call great departure, do not misunderstand with the great renunciation. It's not Mahabhinishkraman, it's Mahaparinirvan. That means the demise of Lord Buddha. Initially, Ashokan stupas were built of the bricks, and the Shunga period, the layers of the stone were added. Dhamek stupa at Sarnath belongs to the age of the Guptas. Now guys, first statement is also correct, second is also correct, third is also correct. Why? Because stupa is a symbol of Mahaparinirvan. We must be aware about it. If we are not aware, so let me just write down the symbols. So the symbol in Buddhism and the event, So here, white elephant, that is the event of conception, okay, conception of Buddha. Then lotus and bull, the birth of Buddha. Okay. Then we have the horse, that is Mahabhinishkraman. Okay, Mahabhinishkraman. Okay. Then then after that we have the wheel. Wheel is basically related to Dhamma Chakra Pravartan. Right. So after that we also have people tree. Okay, the people tree. So that is actually the symbol of Bodhi, Mahabodhi. Okay. Then we have a stupa. Stupa, the symbol of Mahaparinirvan. Okay. So this is how the symbols are actually given to indicate the various life events related to Lord Buddha, and therefore the statement number 1 is absolutely correct. Third statement is also correct, because Dhamek stupa, this stupa was originally constructed by Ashoka, but reconstructed by Guptas around 500 AD. Okay, everyone? So that is the answer. So I hope that everybody is clear that right answer is option number D. That is the correct answer. Next question, take the correct statement out of the following. Smritis are auxiliary treatises of the Vedas or their supplementaries. Puranas provide the religious and historical details of the Aryan civilization and contain the legends, rituals, traditions and moral codes. Brahmanas throw the light on the socio-political life of the Aryans and form a sort of explanation for their religion, especially the sacrifices. Okay, everybody? So let me tell you one thing. Smritis are actually not the auxiliary treatise. They are not the auxiliary treatise of the Vedas. Basically, the auxiliary treatise of the Vedas, okay, everyone, they are called as Aranyak. Aranyakas. Okay, they are called as Aranyakas. So statement 1 is not correct. Statement 1 is not correct. Okay. So here, if I think there is some mistake in the options, okay? There is some mistake in the options. So Puranas provide religious and the historical details of the Aryan civilization and contain the legends, rituals, and traditions and the moral codes. All right, everyone. So this is absolutely correct. The third one is also absolutely correct. So probably this particular question is considering the answer to be option number A. Option number A. But let me make it very clear. This is actually the question asked in the previous year. This is a question asked in the previous year. But let me make it very, very clear to you that despite the answer is considered to be option number A here as per the given choices, right now. But the right answer, absolutely right answer, that should be, because Smritis are not the treatise of the Vedas. They are not the treatise of the Vedas. They are basically the supplementary text of the Vedas. They are actually the supplementary creations which are basically to make the rules, regulations, rituals, and therefore the Smritis are also known as the Shastras. When we talk about the auxiliary treatise, then we have to consider the Aranyakas. Aranyakas are the treatises which are written, they are actually compiled. They are compiled after the much sort of debate, discussion, etc. in the far areas, far away areas of the Aranyas or the forests. So therefore, it's not mandatory that every time the standard answer provided to us by even the commission is 100% correct. Okay. For example, there was a question, let me just discuss that question that is related to the ancient history, probably in 2020 or 2019 something. There they had given this statement that the Harappan peoples had no idea about the horses. No idea about the horses. Now we are continuously studying in every preparation, every book of ancient history, that Surkotada is that place from where we have obtained the bone of the horses. So definitely the Harappans must have at least some idea. But UPSC regarded that Harappans had no idea about this animal. So we cannot help it. This question is also the example of it. UPSC regarded it that Smritis are the treatise of the Vedas, so we cannot help it. But still my answer would be option number, right? No option is there, right? I would be making a separate option here. That is 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are the most correct answer. Moving to the next question, with reference to the cultural history of medieval India, consider the following statements. Siddhas or of the Tamil region were the monotheistic and condemned idolatry. Lingayatas of Kannada region questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. Now this is again the question from the UPSC previous year. Okay, UPSC previous year question. Which of the statements given above are correct? Guys, this is a very simple question. It looks tough, but this is very, very simple. Siddhars of Tamil region were monotheistic and condemned idolatry, absolutely correct. Lingayatas, they questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Both of them belonged to the early medieval period. Particularly the Lingayatas, very, very popular. Who was the founder? Founder was Basavarajan. Okay, Basavarajan, also called Basavanna. Okay, so it is basically his sect that worships Lord Shiva in the form of the Lingam. Remember that previous question related to the Nath Panthi? That is what the question is. Right answer is option number C. Both of them are absolutely correct. In the context of the ancient India, which of the following statements can be said to be true? Which of the statements is true? Now this is actually the culture and society. So the culture of the ancient Indian society, that is the question. Marriage by the capture was called as Paishach Vivah. Marriage when the bridegroom had to pay the price to the bride was Asur Vivah. Marriage in a state of sleep or intoxication was Rakshas Vivah. Marriage through the mutual love was called Gandharva Vivah. Okay, everybody. So choose the code for the correct statements. You have to tell the correct statements. Now guys, let me tell you one thing. That there used to be 8 types of the marriages. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7 and 8. Number 1 is basically Brahma Vivah. Okay, Brahma Vivah. Here the father of the girl searches for a suitable groom and follows the rituals, customs with the blessings of the elders, gives away the daughter through the ritual of Kanyadan to the groom. Exactly the type of marriages we most often see around us. Brahma Vivah. Then there was Deva Vivah. Deva Vivah, what is that Deva Vivah? In the Deva Vivah, usually we have the occasion like any sacrifice or any yajna being conducted or any ritual is being conducted where the Yajman is presenting his daughter to the Purohit or to the priest in the form of a humble offering where the girl is also willing to marry with that Purohit. So when the Purohit accepts this type of proposal of marriage by the Yajman, in that case, this is called as Deva Vivah. Then we have a Prajapat Vivah. Prajapat Vivah. Here in the Prajapat Vivah, usually what happens, the rishis etc., they usually set up or establish the marriage when even the son, the father of the son is looking for a bride and both the families agree, but the proposal comes from the side of the son. So that is actually the groom, okay, that is actually the Prajapat Vivah. Then we have Arsha Vivah. Arsha Vivah. In the Arsha Vivah, what happens? Here, suppose if you are any rishi or any normal person also, you want to marry your daughter with someone, so you will accept a pair of the bullocks because your groom is not very rich. So you will accept a pair of the bullocks or maybe a cow or something, and in exchange of that you will marry your daughter with that particular groom. That groom and daughter, both of them are ready to marry with each other. That is Arsh Vivah. These 4 were the preferable methods of marriage. Now the 4 which were not very preferable, but they were also recognized as the marriages, like Gandharva Vivah. Gandharva Vivah is basically the love marriage. Then we have the Asur Vivah. Asur Vivah is when suppose a girl is very poor or the father of the girl is very poor, so someone who wants to marry with the girl comes with a price, comes to give some money or something valuables in exchange of that girl. So basically girl is sold off by her father or her guardians to a rich and wealthy man, a powerful person. This is actually the Asur Vivah. Okay, here the willingness of the girl is not important. We have the Rakshas Vivah. Rakshas Vivah. Rakshas Vivah is actually when someone kidnaps the bride or tries to forcefully marry that particular girl without the consent of that girl. This is called as Rakshas Vivah. If you might have heard the story of Mahabharata, so Bhishma Pitamah, he had kidnapped Amba, Ambika and Ambalika, who were the daughters of the king of Kashi, and Bhishma Pitamah, he had kidnapped those girls for them to get married with his own brothers. Okay, so here this was example of the Rakshas Vivah, and when last one is the Paishach, okay, Paishach Vivah. Okay, Paishach Vivah is basically when there is the state of intoxication or the state of the sleepiness or the drowsiness, or there is some drugs which are administered on the girl so that she becomes unconscious, and taking the advantage of that unconsciousness, she is raped by someone, and eventually she is forced to be kidnapped or to be kept under the you can say seclusion of that particular person. Then it is called as Paishach Vivah. So if someone marries a girl by abducting or by intoxicating or by forcefully establishing the sexual relations, then this is Paishach Vivah. Okay, everybody, remember these 8 different types. So second one and the fourth one are basically correct. That is the right answer, option number B. Okay, everyone. Now, question number 34, which of the following was not one of the points of the religious differences between the Buddhism and Jainism? Now, in the culture, we have a very, very important topic called religion. Compared to the Jainism, Buddhism was moderate in its stress on the doctrine of ahimsa. Whereas Jainism believed in the rigorous asceticism, Buddhism considered the rigid penance to be useless. Unlike Buddhism, Jainism did not altogether dispense with the worship of the old deities or the services of the Brahmins. While Buddhism acknowledges a permanent entity or an immortal soul, Jainism does not. Now guys, the question is saying that which of the following is not one of the points of the religious differences. Now let me tell you, when you read this particular line, while Buddhism acknowledges a permanent entity or immortal soul, now remember that Buddhism does not believe in the soul. So this statement is absolutely wrong statement, my dear. Absolutely wrong statement. That means right answer is in front of you. That is option number D. Option number D is the right answer. Why? Because all the 3 statements above it, they are absolutely correct. Because Jainism was very tough. Buddhism was moderate. Jainism believed in the rigorous asceticism. What is the asceticism? Asceticism is basically the practice of celibacy or sannyas. Okay, Buddhism, they do not regard the rigid penance as a necessary thing, and Jainism did not dispense every perception related to the old religion, whereas Buddhism actually did that. Questions are quite tough in the nature. Yes, of course, because the simple questions, they are also the part of these questions only. Okay, everyone. So we will practice the tough questions, easy questions, a little more than easy, that type of questions. So it will be much helpful for us to deal in the examination. Now, who among the following teachers were visited by Siddhartha Gautam in the quest of the knowledge before his enlightenment? So we all might be aware that Siddhartha Gautam, he left his home at the age of 29 years when he had a son named Rahu, when he had his wife Yashodhara, and his brother Nand, his cousin Devadatta, his father Shuddhodhan, and his mother or stepmother Prajapati Gautami, all were there. Siddhartha decided to leave his home, and wandering for the search of knowledge, whom did he meet as a teacher, in fact, as a disciple of that person? Alar Kalam, Uddak Ramaputra, Makhali Goshal, Nigandhanath Put. Who is the right answer, everybody? Let me tell you the right answer. Alar Kalam and Uddak Ramaput. And why not Makhali Goshal? Because Makhali Goshal was basically the founder of Ajivika founder of Ajivika sect, and Niganthanath Put is nobody, right? Nobody but Vardhaman Mahavir himself. Okay, Vardhaman Mahavir himself. Okay, everyone. So it is not possible that Ajivikas and Jain Muni Vardhaman Mahavir, both of them, they could not be the teacher of Lord Buddha. Therefore, the top two of them are the teachers. They were actually both the exponents of Sankhya philosophy. Remember that? Exponents of Sankhya philosophy. And guys, remember one thing. That even Buddhism also had been quite influenced by the Sankhya philosophy. In fact, there was a question asked by UPSC that which particular philosophy affects or influences the Buddhism the most. Answer was Sankhya philosophy. Okay. Consider the following features about the Shwetambar sect of Jainism. Jainism, Buddhism, they are the favorite most topic of the UPSC, from where they keep on asking the questions, tough and tougher questions. Monks wear white unstitched cloths. They follow only 4 vows given by the Parshvanath. Believe that women can't achieve the liberation or the salvation. Sthulbhadra was an exponent of this sect. Select the incorrect from the codes given below. Which of them are incorrect? Okay. So here, monks wear the white unstitched cloth, Shwetambar. Remember, Shwetambar and Digambar. Okay, everyone. So when we talk about Shwetambar, we basically have the 4 vows, we have the white cloth, we have Sthulbhadra, we have Parshvanath, his 4 vows. Then we also have liberation for the woman. We also have a little lenient approach on the brahmacharya. So guys, all these things are related to the Shwetambar sect. Shwetambar sect was further subdivided into the Murti Pujak and Sthanakvasi. These were the 2 subsects within the Jainism, particularly the Shwetambar Jainism. So all these informations that I am telling to you, that's very, very important. They are all very crucial information. So remember those. So here you can see, wear unstitched cloth. Yes. Only 4 vows, right? Remember that. Yes. Believe that women can't achieve the liberation. No. Sthulbhadra was an exponent. Yes. Right answer, option number B. That is the right answer. Which of the following statements are incorrect regarding the philosophy of Hinduism? So philosophy is a very crucial part of our culture in ancient history portion. So Yoga Sutra by Maharshi Patanjali is a harmonic doctrine that deals with the harmony between mind and the body through the yoga. Okay, absolutely correct statement. Mind and body, they enter into the harmonious relation, they enter into the harmonic state, and with that it becomes easier to have a rhythmic combination of the, or the balanced combination of your prana, that is your purush, and your body, that is your prakriti. And this is the ideal condition of attainment of the salvation. So the first statement is absolutely correct. Nyaya Sutra is a Dvaita Siddhanta which deals with the numerals. Now this is not correct. This is not correct. Basically, Sankhya is a Dvaita Siddhanta, deals with the 1 and 0, there and there is not, have and have not, Prakriti and Purush. So Nyaya Sutra is not the one. Uttar Mimamsa is a major Upanishadic work about the worship via yajna rituals. Now guys, remember that when we talk about the yajna and rituals, it is not Uttar Mimamsa but the Purva Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa is also called as the Karma Mimamsa. Okay everybody, Karma Mimamsa, which tries to explain the significance of the rituals and customs in a yajna, whereas the Uttar Mimamsa is called as the Jnana Mimamsa, which tries to resolve the queries and the intricate questions of the mind related to the disclosure of the ultimate reality, ultimate truth. Okay. So if we talk about, the incorrect statements, second one is incorrect and third one is incorrect. Right answer is right in front of you. Option number B is the right answer. B is the right answer. Okay everyone. Now moving to the next question, consider the following statements. Yoga Sutra by Maharshi Patanjali. Buddhism is a non-theistic philosophy whose tenets are not especially concerned with the existence or non-existence of the God. What is Buddhism? It is basically the non-theistic philosophy whose tenets or whose belief systems, they don't care about the existence or the non-existence of the God, right? Wandering ascetic or the roaming ascetic usually connected with the Buddhism, he is called as a Parivrajika or Parivrajak. Okay, Parivrajika or Parivrajak. Vaibhashika and Sautantrika were the major sect of the Mahayana Buddhism. Now guys, let me tell you in very brief about the major features of Buddhism. Okay. Sir, why mostly questions asking incorrect? Is there any myth behind this? Not exactly, not anything myth behind it. Usually this is to check the scope of your attention in the examination. UPSC keeps asking the questions like that because they really want the anxiety of the candidate to take over the particular person's concentration. So in the anxiety, the person will ignore that incorrect word and will quickly answer it wrong. This is a type of giving the tough condition to the future civil servants. Remember that. So guys, what is Buddhism? So when we talk about the ancient Indian philosophies, okay, ancient philosophies, remember that there are basically two philosophies, Astic philosophies and Nastic philosophies. What is the meaning of Astic? What is the meaning of Nastic? Astic means those who believe on the Vedas. Do not misunderstand. Astic does not mean the believer on the God. It means the believer of the Veda. Okay? Nastic, those who don't believe on Vedas. Or rather, they don't have the source of knowledge from the Vedas. So Astic have the Sankhya, okay? It has a Yoga, it has a Nyaya, it has a Vaisheshik, it has a Purva Mimamsa okay, Purva Mimamsa, and it has Uttar Mimamsa, okay, Uttar Mimamsa, all these things. Nastik, on the other hand, it is simply consisting of the Jainism, okay, Buddhism, and Charvak. Some of them also have the Ajivikas, but Ajivikas are not that much popular. Only the 3 of them are popular enough. So here, as I told you, that Buddhism is actually the non-theistic philosophy. They don't believe in the Vedas, they don't believe in the God also. But let me tell you that even the Sankhya philosophy does not believe in the God. Sankhya also does not believe in the God. Yoga and Nyaya and Vaisheshik also don't believe in the God. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, they don't believe in the God as the creator. As the creator. Jainism, they don't believe in the God as the creator. Buddhism, they don't believe in the God at all. At all. Okay? Sankhya also doesn't believe in the God at all. So there is basically only the Mimamsa, the Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa, they believe in the God as the supreme creator, destroyer, preserver, everything. Remember this point. So here, guys, wandering ascetic was called Parivrajak, absolutely correct. First one is absolutely correct. Third one is not correct. Why? Because Mahayana Buddhism, it has 2 major branches called as Shunyavad, okay, Shunyavad, and Yogachar or Vigyanavad. Okay, Yogachar or Vigyanavad. So basically, Shunyavad and Yogachar are the branches of the Mahayana Buddhism. That means the Vaibhashika and Sautantrika and Sammitya, etc., they are the branches of the Hinayan sect, my dear. They are the branches of the Hinayan. All right? Remember this point. I hope that it is absolutely clear to all of you. It's okay, everyone. Now, moving to the answer of this particular question, choose the correct statement. Right answer is option number A, 1 and 2 only. 1 and 2 only. Now, which of the following statements are not correct about the Bhakti tradition in southern India? Bhakti tradition in southern India. Earliest Bhakti movements in India were led by Alvar and Nayanar saint. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Then, Nalaira Divya Prabandham, frequently describes as a Tamil Veda, is an anthology of the compositions by the Alvars. Absolutely correct. Karaikal Ammayar, woman Alvar saint, supported the patriarchal norms. Not even possible. Karaikal Ammayya, first of all, she was a Nayanar. She was a Nayanar, not an Alvar. The only female Alvar saint, the only female Alvar, who was she? She was Andal. Her name was Andal. Andal. Okay, everyone? So, if we talk about the Nalaira Divya Prabandham, this is actually the book which consists of all the devotional poetries dedicated to Lord Vishnu and compiled by the 12 Alvar saints. This was compiled by the poet and saint named Nath Muni. Nath Muni. He was the one who had compiled this particular book or this particular literature. So third one is absolutely wrong. First and second are correct. So you have to tell that not correct is option number C. Option number C, that is not correct. That is the answer here. That is the answer here. Okay, everyone? Question number 40. Match the list 1 with list 2. Select the correct answer from the codes given below. Sufi order and Sufi saints. Qadiriya order, Firdausiya order, Chishtiya order, Sohrawardiya order. Order means silsila. Order means silsila. Okay, everyone? So, Qadiriya silsila, you have to choose the right answer. Sheikh Abdul Qadir. Sheikh Abdul Qadir. So, A is matched with 4. Then Chishtiya order. Chishti, I hope everybody understands. Khwaja Nizamuddin Auliya. Okay, Nizamuddin Auliya. So, C is matched with 1. C is matched with 1. Then we have Firdausiya and Sohrawardi. So, Sohrawardiya order, Sheikh Sahabuddin Sohrawardi. Sheikh Sahabuddin Sohrawardi, D is matched with 2. Okay, and here it is 3. Firdausiya from the Sheikh Sarafuddin Maniyari. Guys, it is very easy, even if you know 1 or 2 of them. If you have that basic studies of your regular classes on the YouTube or in the P2I batches which we are launching from 30th of September. Some of the batches are already running. Some of the batches are going to start. So one batch is going to start in the evening from the 30th September. So we actually teach similar things there also, which are very much helpful for acing the examination preparation. So here right answer will be 4312, 4312. Yes, this one. D is the right answer in this particular question. Now question number 41. Consider the following terms: Mutazila, rationalist philosophy; Khanka, abode of the Sufi order; Ziyarat, visiting the graves of the Sufi saints; Ishq, love of the followers towards the Sufi saints. Now, what is the meaning of these things? Mutazila, rationalist philosophy. Mutazila is rationalist philosophy. Khanka, the abode of the Sufi order. Ziyarat, visiting the graves of the Sufi saints. Absolutely. And Ishq, the love of the followers towards the Sufi saint. Now guys, Ishq is basically the love of the Sufi saints towards the Almighty, towards the God. Okay, towards the God. So Ishq is basically not possible. Okay, not possible. Then we have Khanka, abode of the Sufi order. Absolutely correct. Ziyarat, absolutely correct. Now Mutazila, what is the Mutazila? Mutazila is basically the rationalist philosophy, right? Rationalist philosophy. Basically, you might have heard about Mutazila and Aql. Mutazila and Aql. Okay, everyone? So here, the right answer should be option number B, only 2 and 3. Mutazila is actually not considering the rationality, but considering that you are always in an inferior position to the creator, and therefore you are not worthy enough to use your own understanding, to use your own brains. So that is the meaning of Mutazila. In some of the books, I have actually seen that Mutazila, in fact, nowadays internet has become the source of the misinformation. So Mutazila has been actually described as the rationality or something. Guys, do not believe on that, okay? Mutazila is actually considering the person. See, theology is basically related to Mutazila. Aql is actually the using of the brain and the using of the rationality to take your own course of action. That is just opposite of Mutazila. So that is why answer will be option number 2 and 3, option number B. Consider the following statements. Bijak is a composition of the teachings of Sant Kabir. Bijak is a composition of the teachings of Sant Kabir. Philosophy of the Pushti Marg was propounded by Madhavacharya. Okay. The order of the Brahma Sampradaya was founded by Vallabhacharya. Okay. So, which of the statements given above are incorrect? Which is wrong statement? In these 3, which are the wrong statements? Now guys, remember, Kabir Das has to be one of the most well-known, famous and significant Bhakti movement saints. Kabir Das, his sermons are composed in the three distinct works, right? 3 plus 1 actually. Sakhi, Sabad, okay, Shabad and Ramayani. Okay. Whereas the composition of these three in a separate volume, it's called as Bijak. Bijak. Okay. So that is first one, absolutely correct. Philosophy of the Pushti Marg. Now guys, Pushti Marg is actually the philosophy given by Vallabhacharya. Okay, Vallabhacharya. And his followers are called as Vaishnava Sampradaya. Vaishnava Sampradaya. Okay. Whereas Madhavacharya is the founder of Brahma Sampradaya. Okay, Madhavacharya, who also gave the philosophy of the Dvaitavad. Okay, Dvaitavad. All right. And on the other hand, Vallabhacharya gave the philosophy of the Shuddha Dvait. Okay, Shuddha Dvait. Shuddha Dvait. Okay, everyone. So these are the certain philosophies given by these great monks and great saints of India. In fact, when we talk about the great philosophies of Bhakti, so remember, there are basically some important philosophies like there is a Dvaitavad, okay, a Dvaitavad. Then there is a Vishishta Dvait, all right. There is a Vishishta Dvait. Then we have Dvaitavad, okay, Dvaitavad. Then we have Dvaita Dvait, Dvaita Dvait, okay, Dvaita. Then we have the Shuddha Dvait, Shuddha Dvait. So Advaitavad is given by Shankaracharya, okay, given by Shankaracharya. Vishishta Dvait given by Ramanujacharya or Ramanuja. Dvaitavad is given by Madhvacharya. Then Dvaita Dvait is given by Nimbarkacharya. And Shuddha Dvait is given by Vallabh, right, Vallabhacharya. So you need to remember these names. Sometimes they are asked in the examination also. These are very, very important saints during the Bhakti movement. They have been one of the most crucial parts of our cultural growth, right? So which is the right answer here, everyone? Incorrect statements. Second and third are incorrect. B is the right answer. Okay. Now, consider the following statements. Sant Nimbark was a contemporary of Akbar. Sant Nimbark was a contemporary of Akbar. So Saint Nimbark is basically not contemporary of Akbar or contemporary of Akbar. This is the question. Saint Kabir was greatly influenced by Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. Okay, everyone? So when we go through these statements, we can actually realize that we have solved the similar type of questions previously also. So Saint Nimbarka was contemporary of Akbar. Not possible. Why not possible? Because Akbar lived in the 16th century, whereas Saint Nimbarka was a 14th, 15th century saint. Okay. Saint Kabir was greatly influenced by Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. Not possible once again, because Saint Kabir primarily lived during the 15th century. Okay, primarily during 15th century, whereas Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi, He was contemporary of Akbar and Jahangir. So we can say 16th, 17th century. Once again, not possible. So right answer is option number D, neither 1 nor 2, none of them should be correct. Okay. Question number 44, consider the following about the Maharashtra Dharma. Maharashtra Dharma, okay. Now guys, Maharashtra Dharma, we have already discussed about it in the beginning itself. The Bhakti in Maharashtra was classified into the Varkari and Dharkari sect. Okay. Varkari saints worshipped Lord Vithala while Dharkari worshipped Lord Shiva. Elimination of the casteism and social discrimination was the most pronounced in the Maharashtra Dharma. Guys, this is a very, very easy question. Lord Vitthal and Lord Ram. Okay. So this is not correct. This is not correct. So that means first and the third, that is the right answer, everybody. Right answer. Everyone must be clearly able to understand that Bhakti in Maharashtra was called Maharashtra Dharma. Varkari and Dharkari, two sect, and they were very, very vocal and quite dedicated to eliminate the stigma of casteism, the evil practice of discrimination in the society that was probably most significantly applied or most significantly improved in the Maharashtra region. That's the case. Sufi silsilas became a major tradition in the medieval India. The term silsila means. Now guys, the questions, now I think it seems easier for you to solve because now we are actually having the derived questions. So we have already solved the tough questions. That means the questions are now getting repeated not in the language but in the topic and the context. So the family of followers called Murid and teacher called Peer. Spiritual genealogy linking the Peer and Murid one after the other. Series of musical devotions sung during the Sufi congregations called Sama. Distinct way of the Sufi poetry that later developed into mature semi-classical style called as Ghazal. Now guys, what is the exact right answer here? The spiritual genealogy linking the Peer means the teacher and Murid means the student. So suppose I am your teacher, I am teaching you and learning from me, you will be teaching it to someone else. So this will become like a chain, and this chain is basically called silsila. As I told you that silsila, there were many famous silsilas in India. Right, for example, Chishti was there, Sohrawardi was there, Naqshbandi, Qadari, Faridi, several silsilas were there. Now, so what is the right answer here? Right answer is option number B. Which, with reference to the dome architecture in the medieval India, consider the following statements. Dome architecture in the medieval India. The earliest use of the marble dome was in the tomb of Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. Okay. The earliest use of the double dome was in the tomb of Sikandar Lodhi. Sikandar Lodhi. The earliest octagonal domes were built in the Humayun's tomb. Humayun's tomb. Okay, everyone. Now, let me just tell you a few important things. The question is asking that how many of them are correct? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, or 1, 2 and 3, all of them are correct. Now guys, when we talk about the earliest use of the marble domes in the tomb of Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, basically the tomb of Ghayasuddin Tughlaq was constructed in 1325. Some of the sources also claim that the tomb of Hoshang Shah that had the marble construction. But let me tell you that Hoshang Shah belonged to the 15th century, that period, and therefore this statement is absolutely right. It is absolutely correct statement. All right, everyone? Absolutely correct statement. However, when we see the second statement, the earliest use of the double dome was in the tomb of the Sikandar Lodhi. Now guys, let me tell you that even this statement is also little bit disputed. At least the double domes, they were experimented in the tombs of Taj Khan, okay, Taj Khan and Sikandar Lodhi both. So we can say that yes, Sikandar Lodhi might be an answer. So if we consider the first and the second, then this is true. Earliest octagonal domes were built in the Humayun's tomb. Now guys, earliest octagonal domes were actually built in the tomb of Khan-e-Jahan Telangani. Khan-e-Jahan Telangani. He was the minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, everybody. So minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, that means definitely much earlier than Humayun. So third statement is definitely wrong. So when third statement is definitely wrong, now what is the choice left in front of us? The choice is left, that is only option number A. But guys, let me just tell you that nowadays UPSC has stopped asking such questions which are possible to be solved by elimination methods. So be prepared with the complete knowledge. It's not easy anymore to have this elimination implemented in these type of questions, right? That's why I am telling you with the complete explanation, so that you can learn as well as when you are solving it. Consider the following statements regarding the Mughal architecture. Babur introduced the Charbagh style, which was used by the Shah Jahan during the construction of Taj Mahal. Okay. Petra Dura style of the ornamentation was first used in Jahangir's tomb. All right. So, which of the statements given above are correct? Now guys, when we talk about the Charbagh style introduced by Babur, absolutely correct. But Petra Dura, it was used not in Jahangir's tomb, but it was used in the tomb of Itmad-ud-Dawla. Okay, tomb of Itmad-ud-Dawla. So that is not correct. First one is correct. Right answer is option number A. Consider the following statements about the architecture during the Tughlaq period. Now this is a very, very important question. Particularly the time period or the dynasty and the specific architecture during that dynasty or that period. That's very important to understand. Marble was the most prominent building material. Buildings constructed during this period are highly decorated. Principle of arch and dome, lintels and beams were combined during this period. How many of the statements are incorrect, everybody? So let me tell you that marble was not. It is basically the sandstone which was the most popular, particularly the greyish sandstone. Then greyish buff. Okay. Building constructed during this period highly decorated? No. They are simple. With slant design of the walls, slant walls called as Battar style. Okay. Now, they are also called as the salami. Okay, salami walls. Then we have the principles of the arch and dome, lintels and beam combined. Yes, absolutely correct. So 1 and 2, they are not Correct. The question is asking incorrect. 1 and 2, right answer is option number B. Okay, right answer is option number B here. Consider the following. Panch Mahal was built by Emperor Akbar, primarily used as the recreational and pleasure palace by the queens and the other ladies of the court. Okay. Now, it represented the mixture of the Persian architecture with the Hindu, Jain and Buddhist elements. Those who have not seen the Panch Mahal, guys, I hope that you will remember it. It looks something like that. It looks something like that. Suppose where we have this type of building and okay, so it basically constructed like that. Okay, so when you watch the Panch Mahal, I'm sorry for my pathetic drawing skills, but when you will watch the Panch Mahal, it will look like a Buddhist monastery or something. So yes, this is influenced by the Buddhism. The jhankis and the jalis, etc., the screens, etc., they are influenced by the Jain architecture. The pillars of that are influenced by the Hindu architecture, and the roof design is actually, or the scheme of the building is actually influenced by the Buddhist architecture. So yes, that is absolutely correct, and right answer is right. Where it is asking incorrect statement, D is the right answer. D is the right answer. Okay. Now, question number 50. Which animal is depicted on the Ashokan pillar of the Sankisa? Now, this is a very easy, cheesy, easy question to end this session here. Sankisa is basically situated in the Farrukhabad, district of Uttar Pradesh. And here Sankisa is having the elephant whose trunk is damaged. Okay, single elephant, that is the right answer. Single lion is present in the place called Vaishali. Lion quartet is at Sarnath and Sanchi. Single bull is there at Rampurva. Okay, Rampurva. All right. And also, right, there are several other places, but these are certain places from where we have obtained the images of animals. Okay, everyone. So guys, that is all in today's session, and I hope that you all must have got a very good, nice and big practice. So do not forget to join me in the next part of this session. I will be coming tomorrow on the similar time exactly with 50 more questions. So I hope that this is going to be very, very helpful for anyone who is watching this session. And similarly, our P2I batches are also going to be really helpful for all of you, which are going to start from 30th of September in case if you are planning to crack the Civil Services Examination 2024, then it's a great opportunity for everyone watching this session to join our batches in the English and Hindi. These three are the medium in which the courses will be provided to you. Guys, these courses will be having some of the outstanding features, like not just the completion of the syllabus on time, but also these will be having the one-to-one mentorship. These will be having the individual doubt solving sessions, as well as the sessions will be having the practice of prelims and mains related test series, along with the success in prelims and success in mains program when the examination will be reaching closer. Apart from that, if you are able to clear the prelims examination under this program, StudyIQ will call you at their office, at their campus. It will provide you complete classes, your stay, your food, transportation, everything will be taken care. And here, if we talk about the cost, guys, for the residential program, the mains residential program, there is no cost, no extra cost. For the entire program of 1.5 years almost, you have to pay just rupees 29,999, but that is conditional. when you will use my code ASR live, then this will be the fees which you can avail. So it's very easy, very easy to get to the website and just select the course of your choice, apply the coupon code ASR live, and you will be having just this is the fees. For the content related thing, you can join my Telegram channel by scanning this QR code, or simply join my Telegram by this link as well. Okay, this is the link, UPSC with ASR. So thank you so much everyone for watching it and for making the patience for so long, and I hope that tomorrow we will meet again in similar type of questions. In fact, some of the topics which I have not covered in detail today, those topics will be given emphasis in the tomorrow's session. So make it sure that you do not miss that. Share this session with your friends, and if you have not liked the session till now, do hit the like button also. It does not cost anything. Rather, it increases the confidence, as well as it also shows your appreciation for the hard work and effort that the teacher is putting in front of you. So make it sure that you hit the like and share this session as much as possible with your friends also. Thanks a lot for watching it, guys. Take care. Bye-bye and Jai Hind.